Let me close this thing out. I can't stay all day. My bishop tells me that I should hold it to 30, 35 minutes. So let's celebrate our healing. Let's celebrate. There's a song called The God I Know that's sung by a husband and wife duo named Love Any Outcome. Have anybody ever heard that song? Okay, it's a powerful song. And this song brings me to tears every time I hear it because it speaks to some of my emotional and spiritual pain. Excuse me. And it goes like this. If it was all about religion, what to do, I was just thinking, I would love to sing this thing, but I'll spare y'all the heartache. But Ebony like, no, don't do that, don't do that. But let me go. I would love to do it, but I sing it at work. I hear it at work all the time, but it goes like this. If it was all about religion, what to do, what to say, what to wear on a Sunday, if it was all about perfection, black and white, wrong or right, never gray, well, I'd never make it. I'd never be good enough. I tried to walk the line, pray that I'd find something that I knew was real. Began to realize the harder I tried, the colder I'd start to feel. Until the moment, the second I met your love. And then I threw my hands up, worries down. I remember he showed me how to break up with my doubt. Once I was lost, but now I'm found. And guess what? No strings attached when he saved my soul. I want you to know the God I know. Oh, you gotta know. Oh, the God I know. Well, let me tell you a little bit about God I know in Jesus the Christ. Let's use our God-given imaginations for a moment. Imagine, have any of you ever been on a hiking trip? Imagine that we're going on a hiking trip. We're going to need to pack a bag, right? All right, but this bag won't have the normal things that you would need to take for a hiking trip. Instead of energy bars, water, sunscreen, ropes, sweat towels, whatever. Instead of those things, our bag will include a bag of burdens. I want you to pack away fornication. I want you to put in adultery. I want you to put in drunkenness. I want you to put in anger and greed and jealousy. Now put it on your back and let's walk. We got the bags packed. We got our bags packed. Let's pack them. Let's start walking. Where we going, you ask? We're going to a hill called Golgotha. We're going to a hill called Mount Calvary. But remember, we're walking with Jesus, the Jesus who the God, Son of God, came down in the likeness of sinful flesh to deal with sin. You have to remember that after he was up all night being tried and he was proven guilty, beat like an African slave. Can you imagine if you've seen The Passion of Christ? What a powerful, powerful movie that is. You imagine, but Jesus has his burden too. We're not walking alone. His burden is the cross. His burden is the cross. But as we're walking, you notice we're walking behind Jesus. He drops his cross. Why? Because the weight of the sin was too heavy for him. The burden was too much for him to bear. But they seized a man, Simon of Cyrene, who was coming from the country, and they laid the cross on him, and he carried it behind Jesus. That's in Luke 23:26. But notice, some of our burdens drop out as well. But I love him so much, I had to fornicate with him. Can you imagine Jesus walking? He's trying. He turns around, looks at you. Pick up your cross, follow me. Can you imagine? I'm glad I just got laid off from my job and I had to get drunk to anesthetize the pain. Pick up your cross, follow me. I love money and I work all this overtime because I want the money to buy the latest and the greatest. Pick up your cross and follow me. I'm jealous of him because they look like they got it all. Pick up your cross and follow me. Life is hard. Where my help gonna come from? Jesus said, look up to the hills. Your help comes from me. I look up to the hills, the psalmist said. From where will my help come? My help comes from the Lord. My help comes from the Lord. But when Jesus told the invalid to stand up, so we're at the cross. We got our bag of burdens, and we notice every ping from the hammer on the pen, every strike of the pen, that's a sin. Ping, ping. And they stand him up. They poke him in his side. Out comes blood and water. And he said, it is finished. But how many know the story didn't end there? The story didn't end there. Day one, they put him in a grave in a borrowed tomb. Day one, he laid there. Day two, he laid there. Day three, he egeroed. You say, what is egero? The Greek word that Jesus said to the invalid, stand up, is the same word used for resurrection. So he told the invalid, resurrect off your bed of pains. Resurrect off your emotional weakness. Resurrect off your spiritual invalidness. Be resurrected. Guess what? Jesus, he stood up from the grave with all power and authority in his hands. And as a result of his resurrection, you're made well. You can stand up, take your metaphysical pain, and walk from the grave resurrected. Stand up, take your mat of emotional pain, and walk resurrected with love, joy, peace, patience, self-control. Stand up, take your mat and walk of your spiritual pain and be clothed with Christ. Stand up. Do you want to be made well? Stand up. Do you want to be made well? Stand up. Do you want to be made well? They missed their cue. Y'all missed your cue. Stand up. Do you want to be made well? Stand up. Do you want to be made well? I can't hear nobody. I can't hear nobody. I can't hear nobody. Stand up. Stand up. Be resurrected. Stand up. Stand up. Do you want to be made well? Let everything that has breath praise ye the Lord. Let everything that has breath praise the Lord. Stand up. Lord bless you and keep you.
Thank the Lord for this wonderful, wonderful message. I was thinking as he was bringing the word of God, how Jesus was walking by and he said, do you want to be made well? Right. This man didn't know who Jesus was, but he did.